Clerk. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this work session regular meeting of the Franklin Township Council was made by the posting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the township website, and electronically transmitted to the officially designated newspapers, indicating that this work session regular meeting would take place in the municipal building, council chambers at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, October 24th, 2023.
Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for invocation by Councilwoman Francois. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
O God, the Creator and the Redeemer of all the faithful, hear our supplications, and through thy infinite love and mercy, graciously grant us the strength and power in our thoughts and decisions to be for the benefit of all people at all times. Amen.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Deputy Mayor Barrison.
Here.
Councilwoman Francois.
Here.
Mayor Kramer.
Here.
Councilman Onijaka.
Here.
Councilmember Potosnik. Councilwoman Pruitt.
Here.
Councilwoman Udine.
Here.
Councilman Vasanella.
Here.
Councilman Wright.
We have a commendations and proclamations, Hindu Heritage Month proclamation. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Township Manager, for the technical assistance. Good evening, everyone. All right.
Hello.
My audience of one Hindu from the community is on his way, but I will go ahead and read it anyway.
We could do this. We could do it after public session if you'd like.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have a motion to open to public session?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now open to public session. 5 minutes apiece, no yielding of time. May only come up once. State your name and address when you do. And we have a Boy Scout working on his merit badge tonight, so be nice. Here he is. It's him, and he's followed by Alex Carazzi. No one wants to speak.
Really? No, nobody at all?
This is like earth-shattering.
Well, no, I believe the gentleman's here
We're working on
for citizenship
public
in the
session.
community.
Life Scout. Okay, well,
Working on a merit badge.
we have
Oh.
we have a taker. Are you, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Could have set a record, but no.
Good evening, Alex Carazzi, 14 Margaret Drive, Somerset, New Jersey. I just wanted to really congratulate this township. I had the opportunity to attend 3 events last week. The first one was hosted by our Director of Police Department, and it was a great meeting to bring the community together. The theme was the unity and respect in one another. And we had a few clergy, myself as the president of Interfaith Council was there, our mayor was there, and a few others were there. But there was one thing that really touched me, and that was we had 2 police officers. One was from one was an Israeli American, and the other one was Palestinian American. That really tells about who we are in this township. A diverse people from different places, even places that there may be conflict or there is a conflict, but when they are here in our township, when they are American, they work together, they respect each other, and they do their best to for the safety of our community. So I really want to congratulate this township and our director. The second one was the unveiling of plaque at Youth Center. What a beautiful center, and congratulations, Kimberly, for a great job you have done. You have led. I know a lot of other people have helped you, but you were the one who were carrying the torch, and we really appreciate it. People that they have not seen or they have not been to at that center, I highly encourage you to go there. It's a wonderful place for our youth. They play together, they eat together, they learn together, and they stay out of trouble together. So please take advantage of it. And the third one was really a very unique one. We had it in the past, but this was the Diwali celebration. What a great job they had done, and want to thank the high school for hosting that event, and also congratulations to Councilman Ram Ambarasan and his wife. They did a fantastic job. And again, I was invited there as an Interfaith Council president to give a few words, and just the Diwali is basically to stay away from hate, is the light of, is lighten everybody's heart to be a good person, and is knowledge over the ignorance. And so it was a great event for the community, and I enjoyed it a lot, and thank you, Ram, for doing such a great job for putting that together. So 3 events in 1 week. I don't think any place else you can find that, and what a beautiful township we have. And we should all be proud of living at Franklin Township, having such a great place that we can find people that they look like us. We can find people that they are different from us, but we all work together. We all live together, and we work together, and we also send our kids or grandchildren to schools together. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Ms. Bright.
Good evening. Jan Brandt, 22 Bryant Court. And just to say the same thing, I'm been living here now 2.5 years, and in Maryland it was a lot different, and this really feels like a community. Shepa is going to be coming out to our community next month, and she wants to find out about our concerns that we might have. And when I lived in Maryland, I had except we had Governor Hogan, who was pretty good, but I really didn't know much else that was going on in the government and all. And it makes me feel a part of this, and just the diversity is really fantastic too. I love living in a place that I'm able to learn from others. So I also want to compliment the council and all. And Kimberly, there was a bunch of us last week that wanted to go to the plaque dedication. We have a group of people that really are interested in getting involved. Unfortunately, we had a variety show going on that evening, and we weren't able to make it. But I want to say, and I know that I've heard this from other people that I live with in my community, that we want to get involved. And if there's anything like at the youth center, tutoring, things like that, you have a community of people that have time on their hands, and we would love to be a part and get involved with that, because we really want to give back to the community as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Went from no one to now they're all running up.
Jan kicks it off. Debbie will be up next. No. Charles Ingleterra, 86 Saratoga Court.
Into the mic, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Charles Ingleterra, 86 Saratoga Court. I know the fight against B9 is not over, but the thing is, has any consideration been given to maybe following what other towns, and Hillsborough recently bought the property, and I realize that this is an expensive property, right? But, you know, the town with the county, with the state, and I'm not asking you to know the details, you know, well, we met, but is that a consideration or just wishful thinking? Wishful thinking?
We give answers at the end.
I'm sorry.
We'll probably, several of us will probably give you an answer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Debbie Stewart, 2 Farrington, just to make Charlie happy. I'm up here. Yeah, he said what I wanted to say, actually. You know, I was looking at the open space map yesterday. A big bunch of us were talking about things. We uploaded the open space map and the ward map, and we overlaid it, and we said, where's the Franklin Township open space in Ward 2? That's what we said, really. So just, you know, suggesting that, getting creative. I know the current owners have told us they're wonderful neighbors and are doing wonderful things for the community, so that might be a good opportunity, a little give and take. So just creative thinking. Thank you.
Nobody to many. Marlon Kwan, 28 Jay's Corner. An adjacent issue to that is I understand that the township is looking at the possibility of changing or adjusting or amending the some of the zones. I know that the master plan is not scheduled for this year, but if I recall from prior meetings and also Mr. Healy's presentation of the master plan, that there was a discussion about the possibility of looking at changes to the master plan, particularly in the BI zone. And so with that, I'd like for the council to consider creating a citizens group to work with the township on just some of the hot button topics, perhaps some suggestions from the community on how we can better create zoning for the BI zone, so that we can eliminate some of the issues that have come up in this recent 2 years with regards to things like warehouse sprawl. So I just ask that the council consider that. It's not uncommon and not unheard of for committees to be created to assist the township, and we all, in fact, live in the town. So I think that having input from the town would be helpful. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Will Novak, and just parroting what others have said before, I think it would be important for the council to consider that more green space and more open space would make the town a little bit more attractive to young people like myself who might want to move here, who in the next few years might want to start a family here. That's it.
Anyone else?
Nirmal Shah, 9 Congress Court in Canal Walk. So I actually don't want to repeat everything that my fellow residents at Canal Walk have said. I fully support whatever they are saying, and I second it. But I'm really here to say a big, big, big thank you to the town all the members of the town council for giving us a wonderful, wonderful Diwali celebration. Thank you all the council, thank you Mayor and all the council members who were there. I really enjoyed seeing you all, and big thank you to Shipa and Ram for really spearheading the whole effort. And I know that the biggest thank you goes to Ram's wife, because she single-handedly managed the whole event, and we had over 1,000 people. So thank you for a beautiful Diwali celebration. Really appreciate the town has embraced diversity and is really celebrating it. Thank you.
She had good practice at home, managing.
Anyone else?
Mayor, seeing no one else come forward, a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
Second.
Moved in, seconded. All in favor of closing public portion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Public portion is closed. Yeah, why don't we do the proclamation, and then we can answer.
Good evening again. Throughout the U.S. and the world, October is celebrated as a Hindu Heritage Month. Hindus are people from India, practice Hindu religion, which is a very ancient religion, and I'm a Hindu. So today I wanted to proclaim Franklin Township to celebrate Hindu Heritage Month as well. So the proclamation goes like this. Whereas Franklin Township is proud, I wanted to invite my guest who's going to receive. Okay. Whereas Franklin Township is proud of its rich cultural history and the many people who call our township home, and whereas Franklin Township is home to a vibrant Hindu community, and whereas Hindu Americans have made significant contributions across all fields, including science, education, medicine, law, politics, business, culture, sports, and more, and whereas Hindu heritage, culture, traditions, and values have enriched our great township, and whereas during the month of October 2023, the Hindu community across the state of New Jersey and across our nation will collectively celebrate Hindu heritage. And whereas Hindu Heritage Month provides an opportunity to focus on Hindu culture and its diverse spiritual traditions rooted in India. Now, therefore, we, Raman Barson, Councilman, and Philip Kramer, Mayor, do hereby extend greetings and best wishes to all observing October 2023 as a Hindu Heritage Month. Here I have my good friend and a fellow Franklin resident, Dave Karolkar, to accept this proclamation.
May I?
Yes.
Of course.
I am a Franklin Township resident for over 2 decades. My name is Dave Karlikar. I have seen Phil Kramer many times, and so many. Charles is my neighbor. So we appreciate all of you on several occasions in helping this diverse township grow in leaps and bounds. And we appreciate the opportunity where we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning the whole world is one family. So appreciate the opportunity, keep up the good work, and God bless us all. God bless America. Thank you.
The doctor made a house call to Dave's house last week. Dr. Phil Kramer and I went to Dave's house. He has a very intelligent, bright high school daughter who wants to be a doctor, And
I tried to talk her out of it.
my daughter also is a physician as a neurologist, and his daughter wants to be one. So I put her in touch with my daughter, and she was very excited to meet Dr. Kramer. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit the family.
Okay. So you did not use the new format.
Yeah, I must have cut and copied from an old one.
I'll try to
I
ad lib.
apologize.
So item 6.5. Council will answer the comments. I'm just going to answer one of them about buying the property. I know I could score big points with you by saying, yeah, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. But we have executive sessions about those kinds of things. And I'm not going to divulge any kind of plans. So I'd love to score points, but I'd rather make things work right. I don't want to hog all the answers, but if council could try to refrain from repeating an answer or covering something that's already been covered, that would be appreciated. Last time we essentially had 2 council comment sections. But it's up to you guys. Anyone want to comment? Yeah.
I would like to comment. So, yes, we would love to have the senior community work over at the youth center. That's always been a vision of mine. So, Mr. Vornlocker, when we have our next steering committee meeting, which we
Sure,
have
we'll
once a
talk
month,
about it.
we'll talk about
And
it.
I don't know how much, so we have several members of residents of Canal Walk here, but Canal Walk already does have a significant presence at the youth center now. The Canal Walk Men's Club sponsors regular meals that have been named after a former council member who was a resident of Canal Walk, Dan Glicklick. There's the Dan Glicklick dinners. I think once or
We
twice
have that once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah.
And there's been some financial contribution from the men's club. So, yeah, I mean, as what the councilwoman is referring to is the leadership of the recreation department, and the councilwoman and I have a standing meeting to discuss things like that. And I have your cell phone number, Jan, so I know how to find you.
What'd you say?
No, you're not allowed in the men's club, but I bet you there's other organizations within Canal Walk.
Yeah, we'll invite you over for a meeting, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about, give you a tour of your group, and we'll figure out what to do. Thank you.
No comments from the audience. I get yelled at if I don't treat everyone the
That's
same.
right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I asked.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Sorry. Anyone else from council?
Yeah.
Sure. Council.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were looking over it. Just in general, I don't know if it's really an answer, but someone's mentioned about, God, I don't want to use the wrong words here, civilian input for some type of venue or group, that there can be more public involvement and input in our master plan. We're going through a series of one traffic study, review of certain parts of our master plan, and then the larger one in a couple of years. I don't know if the process for those individual initiatives, some are controlled by state statute and other rules, but I would think that in general, it is a direction we should look at creating for productive, looking forward discussions, not as a complaint session. I'm not just trying to give a sense of what I'm talking about. That some of the more life, day-to-day, week-to-week, we have people in this town that have degrees, experience, and if nothing else, they live here or lived here for a long time, perhaps. So I don't know how, and I wouldn't want it to be done in a way that could bog down or create any discomfort in the process, the formal processes we have to go through. But I think there's definitely something to be explored there, and think it would have could only help our, what I think is our consensus of a goal for this town going forward. I'll leave it at that. So that was my response to your question or request.
Any other answers to the public? Okay, so my answer to the citizens group being involved with the master plan, I'm all for it. I mean, it's your town. You know, I've always said that putting the industrial zone next to the seniors living zone was a mistake made 25 years ago, and maybe someone would have caught it. More eyes on it, the better. So that's fine. Alex, the Diwali, you know, it occurred to me while we were talking to the Franklin reporter how incredibly important things like Diwali night is. The more we know about each other, I think the more we will like each other, and the more we will get along and get through things that are happening in the world peacefully, at least here in Franklin. And I think I've answered everything. Mr. Vornlacher, do you have anything?
Sure, I have a couple of answers to some things that were brought up, and I think that rather than do my report, my answers will probably be most of what would have been my manager report.
Okay.
In regards to a citizen committee for the, so let me clarify something. So the township is not undertaking any effort to rezone things. I don't know where that came from, but that's not true. What we are undertaking is a master plan reexamination specifically related to the BI zone. That's been announced here on more than one occasion, and we awarded a contract, which I announced a couple meetings ago, to an engineering firm for both the master plan reexamination of the BI zone and the comprehensive traffic study directly related to the BI zone. Staff and I met late last week with the engineering firm and the principals with the firm to work out a direction for that study. We have previously met with the Planning Board Chairman and the Board of Adjustment Chairman to discuss this because, and as most of you know, the Chairman of the Zoning Board is also a member of the Planning Board, Mr. Thomas. That study, that master plan reexamination is a function of the Planning Board, not a function of the Township Council. So this is, the direction comes from the Planning Board. And in those discussions with the Chairman of the Planning Board, we talked about an ad hoc committee of residents, and there will be some outreach. The goal being to have a cross-section of residents of Franklin Township, not specifically related to any one geographic region. So that is a thing that will be underway now that we've had an opportunity to meet with the principals of the firm that will be doing the study. There will also be public outreach sessions that are included in the process. And what we stressed with the firm was that it would not be something that this is to be transparent and comprehensive, not a rubber stamp process. So these public meetings will be convenient, and there'll be more than one. You know, usually to get through the MLUL requirements for a master plan reexamination, it requires one public meeting. This is where we'll have multiple public meetings, and so that you'll have your opportunity to give input, even if you're not on an ad hoc committee that's formed to kind of steer the study. So that's underway, and I wanted to address that, and so it's a process, though. It's not a process that will take weeks. It's a process that will take many months. But also the traffic analysis will begin very shortly. Within the next week, there will be components of that traffic study beginning, and they're working in conjunction with our traffic bureau in the police department to kind of do that analysis. And that will look at all of the different BI zones, not just the one near Schoolhouse Road, because we have obviously Veronica and Clyde and Churchill Avenue areas as well. So that I hope answers those questions related to that. Mr. Novak, I want to just address your concerns and comments. I don't know if you are familiar with the amount of land that is preserved here in Franklin Township. We are about 48 square miles, and we are about 38% preserved, that's about 18 and a quarter square miles of preserved land that can never be developed on. In central New Jersey, that's a pretty high number, and I give credit to the elected officials who sit to my left and their predecessors going back as far as the middle 1990s when the Open Space Trust was contemplated and then ultimately adopted, and the preservation of land in this town has been a priority of the council for a great number of years, and we continue to preserve land. Within the last 5 years, I think we preserved another 500 and some odd acres, Mayor? Is that about right?
Yes, 550. I think.
Yeah, 550 acres. And to the second ward issue, I don't know whether you know, but you have a pretty significant amount of preserved land that is right across the street, Weston Road, from Canal Walk, in that all of that land on the southeast corner is preserved all the way down Weston Road, all the way to be contiguous with Colonial Park, which is the largest of the developed parks in the Somerset County Park network. So that's a lot of land right there near Canal Walk, a whole lot of it.
Plus the canal path.
Plus, obviously, the 22 miles of linear park that is the DNR Canal State Park. But your point is, there is always an opportunity to get more, and we always work towards more, and I work very closely with the Open Space Advisory Committee to always try to identify properties that are kind of ripe for preservation. So, I think that's got it all, and now I don't have to give a report, Mr. Mayor.
Great.
I'm done.
Council comments. Mr. Wright, want to go first or last? Council comments, first or last? Which one? Microphone. I want your microphone on.
Okay, real quick.
Here we go.
We had a redevelopment agency meeting, and we were given a general update by RPM through our attorney for future areas of development in our redevelopment zone. We're looking to have the area developed in concise areas and not spread out over the area, but through phases, one piece at a time, so we can see this thing moving forward. Neiman Williams Park is my favorite subject. It's in my backyard, and I love it. Through the Open Space Committee, there was an in-depth report conducted of the park, and believe me, not good. We were informed of the results of a walkthrough, and we decided through the Open Space Committee to do certain things that would elevate that park into a park that everyone loves, from the flooded out zones to trees and bushes in front of the senior center to security issues. Everything was on the table, and yes, open space money. You gotta love the trust fund. Last but not least, everyone gets it in the newspaper, in the mail. It's called the Franklin Times. And we need you to read the Franklin Times to let yourself know programs for the adults, for the youth, because you don't want to miss out on any of these great programs, so that when it's all said and done, you pick up the phone and call and you go, whoops, it's all filled up. So read it, understand it, get your money in, and y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Is that quick enough?
That was great.
Okay.
Councilwoman Udine.
So I don't have a lot. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mayor. So I think a lot of us spoke about the Diwali event, successful Diwali event that happened on last weekend. Just want to mention, I know I also received some messages saying when did it occur, they didn't know about it. Parks and Rec website, I think, had it on, our township website had it on, Ram. posted it multiple times. I posted it multiple times on our media sites. I would highly request that if you have, there are events even going on this weekend, I think the Halloween trunk or treat event, the youth council, I think I'll let Kimberly talk about that. So if you're missing any events, please check out the Franklin Township website. All the latest events are posted there, and then if you also go on Facebook, it's all posted there. I attended the plaque ceremony as well in the youth center, and as always, it's done fabulously by Kimberly, and just going in there makes me feel so warm to know that our kids, our children, our high school students have a place to go to. I grew up in North Jersey, and I just wished I had a place like this where it was like a place where you can go and play games, study, network with mentors. There's a library inside. There's so much going on. So I really appreciate that we have this in town and something that we can give to our kids. That will be always there. As one of our constituents Jan mentioned, there is an upcoming meeting with Canal Walk with myself, and it will be an open forum with other residents. We're still working on a flyer. It's all TBD still, but I really look forward to connecting with the residents there and understanding some things other than just what's been going on in the warehouse. We know that's something that's back of our mind, but now we got to look forward in the future and start working on things together and understanding what we can do together. So really looking forward to that meeting. With that being said, I had some other stuff, but as I was walking in here in the library, my new phone just completely shattered. So I can't see what else I had, but I think on top of my mind, that's all I had. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Vasanella.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended a handful of events in the last couple of weeks, but the Central Jersey Housing Resource Center, which I'm on the Board of Trustees, they manage most of our affordable housing efforts and other financial literacy, home buying courses, et cetera. And Franklin, as always, is one of the larger participants in the county, and I believe continues to benefit well by those programs. And we it'll be a year or two before they get the numbers from the state, but we are very ahead of the curve with affordable housing. Public safety meeting, I believe Councilwoman Pruitt's going to get into some of the details of that meeting. On the resolution agenda tonight is paving contract for Henry Street. I mention that because I know some of the residents on that street and that neighborhood have been waiting for a while. There were some delays to get more underground work done, but now I believe the paving contract is being awarded tonight. One of the most important, and of course the plaque, I don't want to go into it again, but that was a wonderful ceremony. Kind of fun and lighthearted, and a nice follow-up to the last couple of, well, everything involved with it. It was beautiful. One of the most important meetings I got to be part of was last week. The manager, the mayor, Councilwoman Dean from the Second Ward, many senior staff, and some representatives from public safety. The study team, we're calling it the study team, I believe for short, handling the $1 million Eastern Avenue corridor study to come up with long-term enhancements to make it a safer, better route for future generations. We had an introduction meeting. It was called Public Officials Meeting Number 1, I believe, and we were given a good overview, gave our input, et cetera. There will be a lot of public outreach. You don't have to live near Eastern Avenue, although a good amount of our population does or uses it regularly. There will be a lot of outreach via surveys, public meetings, et cetera, coming forward. I don't want to go into all the details. There'll probably be some press releases that give specific information. The township will keep the town informed. I recommend anybody who lives in this town is concerned about a lot of the issues were brought up here earlier, not necessarily green space, but in general, the future of this town and zoning and movement of traffic and safety, follow it, whether actively coming to meetings or just from the background. But I look forward to it. But to be clear, without going into a lot of detail, the study will conclude spring, I think June of '25, and that is a very substantial planning stage, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But it was very informative, and I look forward to that rolling out successfully. Thank you. I believe that, well, trunk or treat, Councilwoman Francois may talk about this Saturday, turned into a major event. Maybe we'll finally get a Saturday without rain. So from what I heard, that's why I said it. I didn't want to jinx it, though. But this could be the best Saturday in a lot of ways. You know, I'll take a breath and enjoy that trunk or treat. You don't have to be a child to enjoy it, but that's the primary audience. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Francois.
Get to go next.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll talk about trunk or treat. This year I got a Halloween costume. Hoo-hoo! I've never had a Halloween costume before. I won't tell you, but you'll see me over there. So trunk or treat is from 12 to 3 in Johns Plaza on Hamilton Street. This Saturday, October 28th, we're going to have a costume parade, party, and contest. We're going to have a dance contest. The kids love being over there. Every year it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger. We give out free candy, and what's really nice about it is we have a fun bus, and for some reason that fun bus is like the star of the show. They wait in line, and we run out of time for the kids to get on the bus. But we're going to have crafts and pumpkins, prizes, decorating. It's a really, really nice event, and it's free to the public, and it's for all ages, and the adults get into it as well. It's not just for the kids. The adults are there, and they're having a good time as well. They get involved in the dance contest and the costume contest. Come on out. Have a good time. It's going to be good weather, 12 to 3. And then we're going to go from there over to the youth center, and we're going to have a Halloween party at the youth center from 4 to 7 as well. So I'll be wearing my costume all day, although the mayor is going to, in the morning, I'll go out and do some walking. I'll make sure I'll knock on some doors, okay? Just so you know. But I won't wear my costume. And then I do have to say that I want to thank the council, the governing body that came out on October 19th over at the Youth Center and was a part of the unveiling plaque ceremony. It really means a lot to me that this governing body cares about the youth and the people and the community of Franklin Township. When I was growing up, I'm a product of a government that cares about me. And I was at the tail end of when government cared about people. And I can remember having government-sponsored after-school programs and things like that, rec centers. And as a result of that, I am who I am because I had a government that cared about me. They made sure I had summer jobs and that type of thing. And this governing body does that. And so I just want to thank people talk about me and what I've done, but I could not have done any of this without this governing body. I want to thank the mayor, the deputy mayor, and everybody here on the council. And the plaque was, if you weren't there, the plaque actually had all the names of all the different people who were a part of making that building come into fruition. The township manager had a big part to play. Safi Callan, who was the project manager, Vince Dominic, who managed all the construction, everybody's name was on that plaque. And so I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. And I also want to thank the community that has supported this project from day one. And then what else do I want to say? Oh, yes, and thank you for the Diwali celebration. That was fabulous. It was wonderful, very well organized. I loved the performances. I didn't get a chance to stay and eat the food because I had walked out there and I was tired. And let me also say that please go out and vote. November 7th is Election Day. It's one of our rights that we have as citizens. Early voting starts October 28th. And you can vote, send in your vote by mail ballots now. That's all I have to say, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Still say your name should have been on top of the plaque. Ms. Pruitt.
Thank you, Mayor. I will keep it brief. We had a Public Safety Committee meeting this evening prior to this body convening. So I just want to highlight a couple of things for the public. So there is a new program launching with our police department. It's called Arrive Together. Arrive is an acronym. It stands for alternative responses to reduce instances of violence and escalation. So putting on my old hat, former forensic psychology person, so this is really, really important and meaningful to me. I'm not sure that folks are aware, but across New Jersey, 2 out of every 3 uses of force by law enforcement involve a civilian suffering from a mental illness or who is under the influence. So over half of all fatal police encounters occur in similar circumstances, and these numbers are completely and utterly unacceptable. As a result, the New Jersey Attorney General's office is working to improve how law enforcement officers interact with members of the community suffering from mental and behavioral health emergencies. As such, launching November 1st, our police department will have a mental health clinician in the building. This clinician will be in the building during the weekdays when there is a call for someone who is experiencing an emotional disturbance or a mental health issue. They will roll out with the responding officers to ensure that de-escalation and proper treatment modalities are addressed in that acute situation. The nice thing about this program is that in addition to the acute kind of initial assessments and treatments, recommendations, there will be additional follow-up. So we're very excited about that. I believe a formal press conference with the New Jersey Attorney General will be happening Thursday. It will not be happening in Franklin. It will be happening somewhere in Middlesex, Piscataway. But we are the first in Somerset County to be having this program. And again, it is launching November 1st. I also want to call out that there have been a tremendous amount of increase in scams on senior citizens. As such, the police department will be rolling out a series of town halls and educational programming for our seniors. I believe they've actually begun, but there will be some more coming, and they will be advertised through our senior clubs as well as our senior residences. So if you yourself or concerned about a family member, please keep an eye out so you can go to these presentations and get some more information about the ever-evolving scams that target seniors in particular, but are prevalent right now. Also related to seniors, we do have our Citizen Academy. In January, there's going to be a Citizen Academy that is specifically targeted for seniors. When I say specifically targeted, it's going to be during the daytime, recognizing that some seniors may not feel comfortable in the dusk or the dark hours. So they're working, the police department is working on scheduling something in January so our seniors can come and participate in the Citizen Academy. I also want to highlight that on November 18th, New Jersey State PBA is having their Valor Awards, and Franklin Township will be honored based on their response for the unfortunate crash that happened on JFK several months back. So officers involved will be rewarded there, or awarded there, excuse me. I also just want to call out an interaction that I had with a member of the public that I think is just worth mentioning, plus I promised them that I would. So incidentally, last council meeting, the very next day, I had to fly out of state for work, and my ride to the airport was a Franklin Township resident. He was actually a neighbor. So he was talking about the township and, you know, asking me questions about how I lived there, and I mentioned that I was a councilwoman. He's like, seriously? And I was like, for real? I'm in your car. So we were talking, and one of the things that he mentioned that he would really appreciate, which I thought was really novel, and I think we've probably discussed, but a little bit more, I guess, information about where money goes, especially when it comes to taxes. So a little bit like more infographics, or like, where does your money go, right? Like, how does it get dispersed in the town? Pretty pictures. And just like an understanding, because when you get the tax bill, it does say what it's for, but almost like a pie graph or some sort of chart that points out that this is how everything breaks down and this is how you're contributing to your own community. And I did promise that I would mention it out loud in public, and I'm keeping my promise, sir, if you're watching. But I just also wanted to call that out, and also to remind you that we do live in the community and you may see us. So say hi. But that's all We've talked about a lot of the other events, and it was a pleasure to be able to show up for the volley. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Councilman Onichaka.
Yes, sir. I want to use this opportunity.
We can't hear you.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, I want to use this opportunity to thank my friend, Dave, Councilman Ram, and Chifa for giving us the privilege of enjoying Indian culture and diversity. I was there with my friend, and we tested the food and do some little shopping too with trying to pick some jewelries for our wives. And that's an opportunity for us to know that Franklin is a more diversified community. We thank them for giving us that privilege. Another thing I want to mention, stay to thank Councilwoman Gamblin Francois for giving us the same privilege of having our names permanently on that building. It means a lot. It means when my kids and my grandkids, when they grow up, they can go back and say, oh, that's my granddad. So that's a very good privilege, and I really, really enjoy it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Deputy Mayor, the other one, the current one.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so this last couple of weeks have been very busy. I've been, I guess, occupied with preparing for the Diwali, which turned out to be a very huge event this year. Last year we had run out of space and food when we did it at the senior center, so this year we decided to do it at the at a bigger venue. I requested our district superintendent, Dr. Wally, and he has graciously agreed to open up the school auditorium for us. He provided all the other support in terms of custodial folks, AV support, and the kitchen staff, guards. I mean, it was fantastic. And the people just ate it up. They came in droves. I think we had over 1,000 people, maybe 1,200, 1,300, something like that. We did not run out of space. We did not run out of food this time, thanks to many restaurants, including Councilman Dean's catering service that provided some food and physical support at the cafeteria. So many volunteers were involved. Nirmal Shah, thank you very much for coming and helping us out. Canal Walk folks, there was a huge contingent from Canal Walk. People of all color, creed, religion, whatever you may call it, they were there, which was the purpose. It is supposed to be a unity event that brings people together. People of this town, need an event like that where we come and celebrate a culture that is foreign to the natives here. Safi Cologne, one of our project manager, called it "Stay Local, Experience Global." I love that line. So I'm going to be using that everywhere I speak about that. I got to get a permission to do that. But it was a great event. Thank you for all the support here at the council. We all began this tradition 3 years ago, and I'm glad it has grown. And thanks to my wife, obviously, if she's listening or watching, she did the whole thing. I mean, I just played a supporting role, and she's a take charge kind of a person. So I just let her do her thing and just provided support. And Krista, if you came there, if you watched Councilwoman Pruitt, she wore an sari. And my wife called her, she looked like a little Egyptian princess. Yes. So we were very happy about, there were some glitches in the program, but we will work that out as we go along. Thank you for covering it live. to Franklin Reporter Facebook Live broadcast. So overall, I think we were very happy. Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyway, let's see. We had a brief meeting with Board of Education, Dr. Brenda Sofield, to talk about some of the other collaborative things we can do to help their, I guess, how to handle the demand of pre-K 3 situation, the daycare situation for the state is supporting. So we are one of the early grant recipients of that. So there is definitely a shortage of physical space for that program. So we brainstormed some ideas to solve that issue. More to come on that one. And very happy to participate in the Youth Center plaque unveiling ceremony. A great job there by the staff and Councilwoman Francois. Last but not the least, RVCC. I've been talking about bringing some workforce training programs in town. We are going to have a workforce training programs beginning in December. It's a 3-day, 3 weeks, 12-hour program on, and it was on 3D printing technology. So RVCC going to bring 3D printers, and the class will be conducted at the Consolata Board of Education campus there. So they're going to do this as a free training program to start with. So can anything be better than free? So we are hoping that the class will be taken up by our residents, and it'll be a good one to start with and more to follow from the college, depending on how it goes in the first session. That's all I got, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Better than free is getting paid to do it.
That's true.
Veterans Day is the 11th day of the 11th month, and at 10:30 we'll begin the ceremony right outside here. If it's nice, and if it's not nice, then we'll do it right here. We had a Financial Oversight Committee meeting. We discussed plans of how we're going to provide health care to our employees next year, and we discussed some negotiations with the union. I was at the anti-scam presentation by the police. If you see it advertised, to go to one. They're bringing the show on the road. If you see it, you really should go to it. There was shocking things there and a lot to learn about. The Arrive program is extremely exciting. There's a lot of mental health issues and people suffering from mental health interactions with the police, and this will make things much more humane and appropriate. And then I'd like to point out item K on the consent agenda, the Jan Brandt traffic signal and high-definition traffic camera equipment agreement. I cite Jan Brandt because she was the first one to bring it up. It's a good idea. It'll be traffic cameras around the schoolhouse area, and we won't be able to give tickets with it, but what we can do is monitor patterns and know how to place enforcement around there, and we're going to authorize an agreement with Somerset County for it, because it's their road.
It's their traffic signals.
Traffic, okay. Go. And I think that's all I have. Mr. Manager, you've already given your report.
I have. I just want to touch on one thing that was touched on by council that I think is worthy of just adding some information to. Councilwoman Francois mentioned that for early voting. So early voting is available to all residents. You just have to know where to go. And for Franklin Township, we make it easy. It's here at the Senior Center. And it does start on October 28th, as the councilwoman said, and it's October 28th through November 5th, every day, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you can even vote on Sunday. And if you are so inclined to want to vote by mail, you have until October 31st to get your request for a mail-in ballot. The application is available through a link on our website from the homepage. So if you wanted to vote by mail, you still can. And the drop box for those ballots is out in front of our building here.
The application for a mail-in ballot has to arrive there by the 31st, not mail it by the 31st.
No, what it says is if you apply by the 31st.
I believe it has to arrive.
No.
It does not. No, it
just has to be postmarked
by the
November
31st.
7th.
Right.
No.
Election day, mail-ins.
No, that's the mail-in ballot. The
Yes.
application for the mail-in
The
ballot
application has to be,
has to arrive at the
You can
office.
return it to the county clerk's office.
you can go on the 31st before 3 p.m.
Yes.
and get one and vote right there.
Yes.
At the
Yes, what
county.
I'm saying is, if you will let me speak, the application has to arrive there at the clerk's office by the 31st.
Correct.
So don't mail it on the 31st. It won't get there in time. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
So that I read it directly from the state of New Jersey's wording. Thank you. Not to confuse.
And you trust your government?
Well, no, I don't trust my government at all. That's why I work for it. No, I want people to understand, as the councilwoman said, because I agree with her completely, and the mayor and I were just having this conversation earlier about the importance to go and vote.
Yep.
And we have, I think, here in New Jersey, made it as easy as we possibly could to find a way to get to the polling location and vote. Even if you work from 5 in the morning till 10 at night, there's a time that you can get your ballot in. And if it's by mail or if it's by early voting, I find early voting to be incredibly convenient. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Council discussion items, we have none. Let's approve some minutes. How about the October 10th, 2023 work session regular meeting to the Township Council? I present for their approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Any corrections? Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pruitt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Approval of the warrants. That's how we pay our bills. Warrants in the amount of $1,797,923.12 on October 24th, 2023 are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved in second. And any discussion? Anyone want to pull an item? Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pruitt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
So ordinance is on second reading. So we have a first reading. The first reading is to announce to the public that we're considering an ordinance. The second reading is to pass or not pass the ordinance. We have no first and no second readings. So we're on to the consent agenda. Items A through Q, as listed on the consent agenda portion of this meeting, are presented to Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Anyone like to pull an item, discuss an item?
Just real quick, Resolution 23408, award bid for Neiman Williams Park path resurfacing. I love it. That's a running
I
track.
was hoping you would catch it.
Yeah, you know I wasn't going to miss that one. Thank you.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pruitt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
We have no resolutions to be voted on separately. Old business 2023 committees, commissions, vacancies. Anyone have a nomination? Seeing none. We have no executive session. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Be well, Franklin.